Hello everyone and welcome to another high elo game of Age of Empires. Today the flames of war have engulfed the Iberian Peninsula as Daniel, playing as the Saracens in red, prepares to duke it out with the Viper, playing as the Portuguese in teal. Now all the players herd their herdables, explore their immediate surroundings, and try to get their butts up to Feudal Age ASAP. Ooh, just barely missing some of them llamas. Oh, never mind, he went back and got it. Why don't we take a look at the Civ matchup we will be watching today? Now, the Saracens are a civilization whose strong market can be used to get an early to mid-game advantage over their opponents. To start with, the market itself only costs 75 wood, and their commission, their commodity trading fee, is fixed at 5% right from the very beginning of the game, which is significantly lower than the 30% that other civilizations have to pay when they buy and sell resources early on in the game. Now, using this economic advantage, the Saracens can field quite a hard-hitting tanky army. Their foot archers come with an attack bonus against buildings, which makes their feudal age aggression a little bit scarier than normal. Their camels come with 25% more HP. Their trebs, mangonels, and onagers can all be upgraded to increase their attack, and their unique unit is the Mameluke, a ranged melee camel unit that comes with a pretty massive attack bonus against cavalry. Now, if, as sometimes happens in this game, you find your units injured after a battle, maybe their HP has been decreased just a little bit, maybe a lot of it, well, then Saracen monks can be upgraded to automatically and passively heal multiple units within a 5-tile radius. Taking a look to the north, we've got the Viper playing in teal today as the Portuguese, a civilization whose strong economic bonuses allow it to take advantage of its even stronger gunpowder units to get an early game boost over your opponent and rather to your economy. Well, I guess if you get a boost to your economy, it is a boost over your opponent. Portuguese foragers also generate wood while they collect their berries. All Portuguese units cost 20% less gold. All technologies are researched 25% faster, except for going up to the next age. And once you hit Imperial, you do have access to your unique economic structure, the Feitoria. This is an economic building that auto-generates all 4 resources, but it does take up 20 population space. Now, using all of these bonuses and features, the Portuguese can field an impressive gunpowder-based army, since they have access to every single non-unique gunpowder unit in the game on both land and sea. Now, usually I don't mention the sea, but we've got quite a bit of water on this map, so you never know what kind of shenanigans you're going to see. Let's see some naval battles happening in this tiny little oasis here. All of their gunpowder units can be upgraded to fire more accurately at moving targets and to increase the speed of their projectiles, which strongly benefits their unique unit, the organ gun. This is a gunpowder siege unit that fires 5 or 6 bullets in a small spread, designed to hit multiple targets at once, and does come with a small attack bonus against infantry, skirmishers, and even buildings. So these are the 2 civilizations we've got in front of us. 2 civs you really do not want to face in the late stages of the game. But luckily for us, 5.5 minutes in, we are quite a ways away from the late stages of the game. So a good time for us as the players sit on 16, 17 now villagers a pop at the exact same time to look at where the bases are, where the resources are for our Saracen. Primary gold nice and secure to the back. Primary stone a little bit exposed, but I can kind of be carved off here in between these 2 forests. Speaking of forests, 1, 2, 3 of them for our Saracen. One of them, by the way, big, thick, juicy one right on the attack path between the 2 bases, which seems to be a fairly short attack path. And man, I'm already looking at the Viper's base and seeing how much open space there is here for our Saracen to operate in. Speaking of our Saracen, he's got a bit of additional gold to the right, a bit of additional gold to the left. And where is your secondary stone pile? It's right here to the right, unknowingly placed on the downward slope of a hill. So the forward part of his base, not terrible to wall off. He does have a few neutral forests here that can help him, but the eastern part of his base completely open. I love the secure gold. We'll see if Daniel decides to wall it off this way. Always fun to see how the players decide to make themselves feel safer. The Viper, 1 villager more than his opponent, will hit the next age about 30 seconds behind. Good opportunity for us to see where his resources are. Primary gold to the front, very exposed here. Not a lot of cover for this. Primary stone to the back. Okay, not terrible. 1, 2, 3 forests as well, but why do I feel like the Viper's forests? Actually, wait a second. Does the Viper have 4? 1, 2, 3, 4. Look at that. Never eat shredded wheats. Perfectly placed forests for a nice, easy wall off. And I'm assuming the barracks is going to form part of that wall off. Additional gold to the right, additional gold to the left, a little bit exposed, and secondary stone very exposed. And so whereas the Viper has 4 forests, Daniel has 3, but one of them, I guess, I mentioned how it's thick and juicy. I guess it's the size of 2 of the Viper's forests. The Viper, though, does have this additional rectangular shaped forest here, whereas Daniel has a big forest in the back as well. Viper's base on the whole, a little bit easier to wall off in totality, whereas Daniel has a much easier wall off when it comes to the front. But the side, okay, so he agrees with me. He believes his eastern flank is the weak link in the chain and begins walling that off. The Viper doing the same thing with the forward portion of his base, already has a spearman out to shoo away any kind of cavalry that our Portuguese might be sending his way, as he himself has discovered where his opponent is and begins looking for some random villagers, maybe some damage to be done. But one scout versus a group of villagers. I'm assuming both players have loom. Yes, they do. And so one scout, not exactly the biggest of threats. Daniel being a little cheeky, trying to get the Viper to garrison his villagers. A bit of idle time will work out in his favor, but the Viper not falling for it. It looked like he garrisoned 1 villager or 2 just to fire a few arrows at the scout, which takes 3 massive HP damage and then gets the hell out of there. Brought a friend along for the ride as well. The Viper going very far afield. I wonder if he's looking for relics. Our Portuguese gunpowder expensive civilization that it is. Did he delete a lumber camp? What was this? This kind of looks like a lumber camp to me. Yeah, there's the wheel, the spoke, or whatever the hell this thing is. Why did the Viper? That must have been an accident there for our Portuguese and teal. Not exactly a structure you want or need to delete at this stage. 100 wood down the toilet. Still no kills as we enter the 12th minute of the game. I guess technically the 13th minute of the game. The Viper's here with a bit of a small army, but one that can pack a punch if Daniel is not careful, since there's a spearman in here. And now our Saracen sees it, brings out 2 skirmishers of his own, and I'm assuming this is all she wrote for the Viper's army, although it is the Viper who draws first blood with the death of a scout, but loses his own spearman in exchange. So not a free get, a decent get, but not a free get, as now the theater of war shifts to the forward position of the Viper's base. Lots and lots of hills, by the way. So we'll see who takes the high ground from where. The last thing you want as a scout unit is to see a spearman on the high ground, and that is exactly what happened. So tit for tat, 2 units dead for both players. Right as I say that, the Viper gets his 3rd kill, and Daniel has to get the hell out of here. A few injured skirmishers, a very injured scout is not going to last very long now, so might as well put him on scouting duty looking for relics. Our Portuguese is going archer now. Not an uncommon, what's the word I'm looking for? Meta? I'm not sure why I don't like the word meta, but I'm not the biggest fan of the word meta. Not an uncommon strategy to go for the Portuguese. When it comes to foot archers, their tech line is basically pristine. It's perfect. They have access to all non-unique upgrades. The only thing that's missing is their mounted units, cav archers. So I don't think they get heavy cav, and I don't think they get Parthian tactics. But everything for the foot soldiers, for the bipedal archers, they do get. So it's not uncommon to see the Portuguese go heavy on archer play, especially in feudal when they're trying to build up their food reserves. Although the Viper, speaking of building up food reserves, has banked almost no food at the at the moment. Both players 31, 32 villagers. The Viper has double the army count, and dare I say the better army count, unless Daniel can catch it out, just like he's doing right now. Not too sure why the Viper is just kind of nonchalantly waltzing in here. You need the high ground. You need to be able to maneuver these. You do have the stronger unit, but he's got the counter. 3 of them as the 4th and 5th do lie dead here on the field of battle. A good pick off for the Viper, who now takes the kill lead 9-4. Feudal Age shenanigans continuing, both players hitting the 200 food mark. The Viper's already got the gold, by the way, to go up to Castle Age. Remember, all Portuguese army units, all of them, not just gunpowder, all of their units cost 20% less gold. And that's why I'm looking at these archers as I zoom in on these teal. They have ponytails, right? Or am I always mistaking the quiver of arrows for hair? I don't know why I feel like these archers have ponytails. In any event, the Viper's trying to bust in here. There are no villagers anywhere close. Our Saracen plopping one of these 75 wood markets. Man, does that make defending your base so much easier when the biggest structure you have available to you, I guess in the game, 4x4 tiles. There's nothing that the oh my goodness, the Saracens can build that's bigger than that, right? Only costs 75 wood. Viper pivots over here, sees a few villagers, might catch one or two, maybe not. The skirmishers are doing quite a good job. Unfortunately for Daniel, there's this annoying forest right here, so he's gonna have to go a bit of a circuitous route to go from this side to this side. So if the Viper really wanted to be annoying, really wanted to be a mosquito buzzing in the Saracen's ear, he could be. Since look at Daniel's movement path. This is so annoying. You have to go all the way around this just to get from side to side, and by the time you do, look at that, the Viper's busted in. Viper's busted in. He's still 5 kills ahead. He's going straight for the skirmishers, but the spearmen show up just in time. And now the Viper, if he wants to, can pivot here. Although these structures have 750 HP, not the 250 of a palisade, and I believe more armor, if I'm not mistaken. No, sorry. I always forget that houses, if you weren't familiar with houses and melee armor, in Dark Age and in Feudal Age, they have negative melee armor, which makes taking them down a little bit quicker. Although Pierce armor, am I right, about 8 to, what's the palisade? Only a 5. So the house does have more Pierce armor than a palisade, but it does, the palisade, have 2 melee armor, whereas the house has -1. So if he attacks it with this 5 attack, it'll actually do 6 damage. Based on how mathematics works. And now I say that very lightly, since I'm not exactly the spirit of the law here in terms of mathematics. So take everything I say with a grain of salt about anything related to anything. Honestly, I think I was dying of laughter when there was I forget what game it was, maybe 3 or 4 or 5, maybe a week ago, days ago, when I was having trouble remembering the Hatfields and the McCoys, and I was talking about the McLeods, which is the clan from Highlander, and somebody in the comments reminded me about that. And when they said that, my brain just clicked in, and I just remembered. But, you know, nobody's perfect. Especially yours truly. Let's see. Speaking of nobody being perfect, the Viper, 4 villagers down, is in castle. Gonna get crossbows, gonna get bodkin, gonna get bowsaw. All of the nice upgrades that he needs to start building his ranged army here. Unfortunately for him, the Saracen has 12 skirmishers, which I'm assuming in 5 seconds are going to be upgraded to elite. And he may even splurge on bodkin himself. There we go. So this army for the Viper, powerful as it may be in terms of destroying palisades and bundles of sticks that don't fight back, against skirmishers, I'm not sure. Even scouts at this point against skirmishers, if they're elite, against basic skirmishers, probably these scouts could do a decent job. He bought 100 stone for 134 gold. Interesting. What did he buy that stone for? Where is he going to place that second town center once he gets the 275 wood? I mean, I'm assuming that's what it's for. Uh-oh. I said he's going to go elite skirmisher. Of course he's not. But with bodkin underneath a town center, I'm surprised nothing's garrisoning inside this town center. Not terrible. I don't think the Viper got a single villager kill there. No. And his kill lead is narrowing. There's that third town center next to the gold, next to the wood, the market. Lots of space for farms. A pretty damn good location for a town center. I like this one as well. The Viper, on the other hand, going off of one town center is... Forget red phosphoru. We've got teal phosphoru here. Okay, so he's kind of practicing his garrison ungarrison command at the moment. Man, the Age of Empires community is such a funny community. We tend to go down rabbit holes. I forget the name of the tournament, the one that was like 6 months ago. All of a sudden, in the crosshairs was the Burgundian Revolution, the Flemish Revolution of the Burgundians, and that's all anyone could talk about. Then there were other things that were all the rage, and now all the rage is this whole red phosphoru strategy of garrisoning and ungarrisoning, and the Viper never one to miss out on trans. He's got 8 in here, he's got 10, 18 crossbows are gonna be popping out and popping back in. Now, somebody in the comments, correct me if I'm wrong, I do not think siege towers heal units, if I'm not mistaken. I don't think the crossbows heal inside of these siege towers. Now, what he can do is move into the minimum range of these skirmishers. These are not the skirmishers we saw yesterday with Andy and Sling for the Incas. They still have a minimum range of 1. And so if the Viper can position these siege towers close by, which he's not really doing at the moment. Not really doing at the moment. I don't know what the hell the point of this is. This is the part of the game where the Viper is just having the time of his life. He's just hanging out. I'm surprised the siege towers move this slowly, though. I thought they moved a little bit faster than 0.8. This is elephant level slowness out of these beautiful teal structures. Now, unfortunately for him, I mean, I guess he could go here. I don't think there's anywhere that these siege towers can drop off the crossbows to get inside the base, because they can't do it over structures, only through over walls. No, you can't even do it at a corner, Mr. Viper. I know you're trying to, but I don't think you can. A knight for the Portuguese comes out, gets a skirmisher or two, and then dies. So not exactly the best of trades. Siege tower HP is still pretty decent with its ridiculous 100 pierce armor. Each one of these skirmishers does 1 damage, I believe. I don't think they have any kind of yeah, it's not a spearman, it's not a cav archer, it's definitely not a building or an archer. I mean, what do you say at this point? I don't even know how much of the Viper is really gonna get done here. Again, he's fighting skirmishers with crossbows. These skirmishers have 6 pierce armor against your 7 attack. You're doing 1 damage. Now, I guess, again, if you can get into the minimum range, that's one thing, but I think the Viper, he's just using the cooldown time on these crossbows, because they fire, if I'm not mistaken, on a 2-second delay. This is something I can never remember. Skirmishers, I believe, fire on a 3-second delay. Yep. And crossbows on a 2-second delay. Come on, pop one of them out so I can take a look. No, he's too fast for me. Yeah, 2-second delay. Okay, so I do know something about this game. At the same time, though, Feudal Age shenanigans still abounding in Castle Age, as the Viper, by the way, is still, not still, but he's 2 minutes away from Imperial. He himself has gone up to 3 town centers, whereas our Saracen has gone up to a 4th as well. Let's see what the players are building, as the siege tower shenanigans, fun as they are, give us an opportunity to look away for a second. We've obviously got a siege workshop, 2 archery ranges, how many stables? Just the 1 stable, university, blacksmith, monastery, the usual structures here. I mean, the Viper started out with 18. Now he's got how much? 6 and 6. Now he's down to 12. So much micro, so much time invested in this. Is it really worth it to kill a few skirmishers? Literally 1 night would kill all of these skirmishers instead of all of this siege tower play. A very aggressive middle of the road castle here for our Saracen. If you're trying to figure out why the confusion between very aggressive and middle of the road, don't bother. He's got 1 archery range himself, a barracks, a stable, market. Where is your blacksmith? Oh, there it is, right in the back. And now he's also entered into the Viper's base here. The Viper, by the way, has made 0 effort. Even though I said he had amazing forests here in the northeast, southwest position to wall himself in, he has made no effort to do so. All he's doing right now is playing bumper cars with these siege towers, ramming them into a house, hoping to change something about the laws of Age of Empires. What was it that Einstein said, the definition of insanity? Doing the same thing over and over and over again and expecting different results. By the way, we're starting to get some villager kills here in the game, as the Viper's got 2. Our Saracen has 1. Now he's got to get the hell out of here. The tower is going to be able to defend. I love that just 1 tower is enough to shoo away this entire attack. He's still continuing. I mean, he is picking off skirmishers, but honestly, at what point does it become just ludicrous and a waste of time? 2 Feiturias. If you're wondering why the Viper's supply just jumped up to 140 when he's got 100 humanoids, That's because he just built 2 Fetorias. Does clear out this expeditionary force from Daniel, but I don't think Daniel really gives a rat's behind. This is a remnants of a Feudal Age army. So their job right now is to just basically get a little bit of scouting, be a little bit annoying, do whatever they possibly can, but no big deal if they get jack nothing done. I don't know why the Viper has such a Beana's bonnet for the eastern portion of Daniel's base. Why don't you go here? This would be an amazing place to garrison and ungarrison your crossbows. There's literally no defense here. Instead, you're butting heads over and over and over again with houses and barracks, and now you're outnumbered by 20 skirmishers. 4 left in you, 8. So now, okay, so he's still at 12. Okay, this siege tower, now that there's 20 skirmishers, is very much in jeopardy of collapsing, and their collapse animations are super fun. So let's follow this one. 10, 9, 8, 7. I feel like I'm in Times Square on December 31st here. 6, 5. Come on, skirmishers, you can do it. 4, 3, 2, 1, and and all of a sudden the Viper's naked again, no armor whatsoever. And I believe I also missed the collapse of the other siege tower to the south. Anyway, I'm not too upset about that. We'll have seen whatever happened in picture, and I love the ball dropping New Year's Eve siege tower collapse. Oh, the Viper's striking back. He's got Cavaliers with +1/+1. They're gonna have +2 armor in a second, but even against the town center, that's not, I don't know if that's gonna be enough to let him stick around. Ooh, way too many villagers, not enough room. The gates have been closed. Honestly, you know you're gonna lose these villagers, or a majority of them. Why not just stick around? Let the town center get as much damage as possible, unless he just wanted to lead them into this camel ambush. And by the way, with bloodlines, take a look at the HP on a camel. This is Frankish Cavalier level HP. It's ridiculous. Viper going up to his first castle. Let's zoom out and take a look. 6 stables for him. More Cavaliers are streaming forward. I mean, it takes cojones of steel to go Cavalier against the Saracens, because the Saracens will literally just pop this badass out. And now all of the Viper's cavalry is dead. D-E-D, dead. That is a reference to Robin Hood Men in Tights. I do know how to spell the word dead. Just confirming for everyone. Lumberjacks expanding over here. Fetorias, are we still just at 2? Yep. But all of a sudden, these Cavaliers, look at them. Look at them running away in the middle of freaking nowhere. Why? Because this scimitar throwing badass unit of a camel rider matured to become a Mameluke is out on the map, and now they do 9 damage, and they attack on a 2-second delay only compared to the usual counter 3. Although I suspect camels, yeah, also attack on a 2. So mounted counter units, I guess, attack a little bit faster than their bipedal counterparts. Oh, the Viper notices, you know what? Why the hell am I running away from 2 camels? You're here all on your lonesome, but at the end of the day, it doesn't even kill them. Does our Saracen have Bimaristan? Let's take a look. That is the upgrade, the absolutely ridiculous upgrade that allows their monks to passively, actively, not passively and automatically heal all units. You can literally have 70 units here. And if there's one Saracen Bimaristan monk, feeble little old man with a bald head, a little book, and a little crook, he will heal all 70 of those units at a ridiculous rate, I believe, of also, I shouldn't have said 70, 75 HP per minute, which is ludicrous. Here we go. Say goodnight to the Viper's army. Took a little bit of unnecessary damage, did Daniel, on move command, but oh man. Oh, mamma mia. That's a spicy dead Portuguese meatball right there. Oh, and Daniel also discovers a few of these villagers mining a bit of stone here. But you know what? The Viper's lashing out. Here comes that Portuguese gunpowder. He's got a Treb, he's got bombers, and he's going organ guns as well. Cocky, very, very cocky, returning with villagers here when you see this big Saracen army about to decimate every single unit you have here. And down goes the last villager. Mining camp under attack. Is he bringing more? No, this is very saturated here. The Viper not done with the raiding. Looks like the town center managed to pick off that one cavalier as he ran out of its attack orbit. And now they're going to get this one as well. Or maybe not. They'll get the villager, but... Yikes. And just like that, the Mamelukes are going to chase this guy. This guy's going to die immediately. Both players are in Imperial. It looks like our Saracen cleaning up the little Portuguese aggression that exists in the back of his base is now pushing into the eastern marshes of the Viper's base. Saracens attacking a low value target for a while. Portuguese gunpowder. I'm very curious to see how the organ gun does against the Mameluke. I mean, the Mameluke, is it elite with... Yeah, it's elite. So it has 133 HP. I want to see the armor classes of the organ gun. Gunpowder, siege, and unique unit. So no bonus damage for this Mameluke. That being said, it still attacks on a base of a 10 against a unit with only 70 HP. Oh, chemtrails erupting everywhere as these organ guns mowed down the last of the Mamelukes. The Viper's being so annoying, these small bands of units, but at the same time, the back of his base is also under attack. And by the way, our Saracen has discovered no fewer than 3 Fetorias, which is going to clue him in. Hey, the Viper's villager count must be absolutely terrible. The question is, do you go after the remaining little villager count that exists, or do you attack the Feitoria, hoping to crush your opponent's economy that way? Always a interesting decision to make. Are these elite, by the way? Yeah, they do. So they do come now with a building +1 attack bonus. That being said, I mean, look how little damage they're doing to this house. What are we working with here? 14 organ guns, 2 bombards, and a Treb. So the second Saracen castle will go down. He has again secured the rear position of his own settlement as he now moves forward with a small band of camels. But look at these 3 units. 12 kills, 7 of them villagers. There's another farmer right here. So risky. It's very risky to be a farmer in Age of Empires. It's even riskier to be a gold miner. Oh man, it looks like 6 or 7 dead villagers here. 6, 7, 8. This looks like a few camel units over here. But this Portuguese army is half the size of its Saracen counterpart. That being said, these 5 or 6 bullets that fire in a spread can absolutely mow down any units that are clumped. Oh, oh no. What's the word I'm looking for? Oh my goodness. What's at the factory? That line where you mass produce something. That was just a mass production of death. They were streaming in one at a time being killed. And by the way, look, you can raid with your light cav, says the Saracen. I'll raid with my Mamelukes, and we'll see who gets more damage done as the third Feitoria looks like it's about to die. A random villager, not too sure if she was converted or if she was brought here by the Saracens. Let's zoom out and take a look at the absolute mayhem that is occurring in the Viper's base. I mean, look at the villager kill counts. Daniel's killed 74, the Viper's killed 62. Both of these players are absolutely tearing into each other. The Viper is slowly securing, loses the Feitoria. His population goes down by 20. But Daniel, how's he going to respond to this? This is a very powerful army, or at least an army group that is moving to the western portion. I don't think Hussars are going to do it. Although, let's see. Hussars with some Mameluke help. There is a monk also moving forward. Hussars charge in. This is literally the charge of the Light Brigade. Oh, the bombard gets the kill here. That being said, you know what? You've exchanged trash units and 3 Mamelukes. The 3 Mamelukes really hurts. Gold-wise, it's the most expensive unique unit, tied for first. And you've exchanged it for trash units that cost only food. So not exactly the greatest of trades. This one Mameluke's in the wrong part of town. Even though he's a cavalry killer, he does get surrounded. So Daniel's going to be pretty damn happy with 67 villagers on food to keep throwing away Hussars to kill these organ guns. more and more are streaming. You think you were watching Hera, you think you were watching Mr. Yo here. I love the random addition of Mamelukes here. They're just going to be able to kill. Let's see what counters what first. The Mameluke counters the light cav before the light cav can counter the monk. Absolutely epic. Now, the organ gun itself is not a cheap unit, so losing 56 gold when you get converted, not great. Mameluke converted organ gun, take down a fresh organ gun. Now another Feitoria is under attack. These Mamelukes might want to help out here. But the Viper's base is just being picked apart one unit at a time. He's down to 56 villagers, but that's misleading. It's 56 and then 20 supply here. Even if you add 20 to the 56, now 57, he's still down about 50 villagers. And now his organ guns find themselves fighting uphill against monks as a bunch of hussars surround them, retreat back to the castle. How many kills on the bombards? 10. 3 of them, 1 friendly fire. Okay. Fantastic. I mean, I love watching unique units fight. Another Feitoria down. This one's going to come under attack. I don't think they come with a building attack bonus. No, 0. Anytime you have unique units fighting each other, it's always super fun, especially when it's one as awesome as the Mameluke taking on one as awesome as the organ gun. Oh god, oh god. 1 organ gun for 4 Mamelukes. That is a great trade there for the Viper. Again, the Mameluke is not a cheap unit. Oh, no. Speaking of cheap units, these hussars are just running a freaking muck. Oh, this one's discovered a gold pile here. And Daniel gets the Viper to tap out. Let's take a look at how many villager kills. Okay, 40 villagers killed in addition. 40 more villagers killed by Daniel. Total kill count is satisfactorily. I'm happy to report that the total kill count is very similar. It's a very satisfactory thing to see when the players are this close to one another. Whereas the Viper killed a lot more military, the Saracen, Daniel, has killed a lot more villagers economy. And now he's catching the gold miners away from here, away from the town center. And I think with those gold miners dead, I don't think our Portuguese has any more gold except for the 1 patch here. And his 3rd Feitoria is down as well. His cavalry is now going to absolutely get shredded to pieces. Of course, out of all of these, I wanted to see the Mameluke stats. Out of all of this, I click the hussars. 6 kills, not really that great, but they're going to add 3 or 4 more here in a second. What an absolutely fun game. I'm surprised the Viper did as little damage as he did here with those organ guns initially, but Daniel did a fantastic job keeping the Viper spread out in multiple locations. The last thing you want to do when you're facing the Portuguese is let them build a death ball of organ guns that are just going to fire 200 bullets at your army every single volley with a 3.5, fair enough. So like a hand cannoneer, basically 3.5 second delay. So Daniel doing an amazing job with all of these various army groups all around the map, takes control of the stone as well here. I love the addition of the stables out in the middle of nowhere, protected by a castle, cuts out the Viper's defender's advantage. And the Viper was just not able to get a death ball of organ guns. And the army that was here, you can still see all the dead hussars that were here. But you know what? Daniel chipping away at the Viper's army little by little by little with his ridiculous hussars. By the way, Saracen hussars, all upgrades available to them. So they are quite a powerful hussar. Maybe not as powerful as some that have unique features, extra HP, extra armor, etc., attack faster. But for a generic hussar, this is as good as it frickin' gets. And when you partner it up with the Mameluke, oh man, do you get a lot of dead Portuguese units. But ultimately, yeah, the Viper killed more military. The Saracen, I don't know why I keep calling the Viper and the Daniel the Saracen. The Viper got more military kills. Daniel got more civilian kills. Let's take a look. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, this is like I don't know what. This is like a Age of Empires Viagra right here. 90 Mamelukes, 51 organ guns. That's exactly what you want to see. Daniel's peak APM in the middle of the game, the Viper's peak APM shortly thereafter, but also in the middle of the game. The economies, I can't see them being. Oh damn. I thought the Viper's Feitorias were up for a lot longer, I guess, than they were. I thought the economies would be a lot more similar, but holy shit. What is this, 19,000 resource difference? That's like a 30% bigger economy for a Saracen. So by the way, we've seen the Viper play with the Saracens when he's given map control. This is not a civilization that you should be giving map control to. I mean, again, a silly asinine thing to say. There's no civ in this game that you should be giving map control to if they're your opponent, but especially one as heavy and as powerful as the Saracens. This is the last thing you want to do. Okay, never mind. 1, 2, 3 more Fetorias. So why is his economy so far behind? He had 6 Fetorias at the end of the day. I guess he lost 3 of them, but that wasn't that long ago, so I'm surprised. 5,000 wood. Let's see where the disparity is. 12,000 food. Gold identical. Stone. Our Saracen mining out basically half the map's worth of stone here with 5,000. Conversion 7 out of 179. Not the greatest. What is that? 3-4%. Buildings destroyed by our Portuguese. Buildings destroyed by our Saracen. Nothing really too crazy to write home about. I mean, what didn't we get to see this game? I almost forgot for a hot second that the Viper kept butting his head here with those siege towers. Those New York City ball-dropping New Year's Eve siege towers. Not too sure he got really anything done except maybe having some fun and showing us some fun micro using those units. But at the end of the day, it is our Saracen who gobbling up all of the resources on the map, denying his opponent the resources on the map, and then crippling the economy with both the destruction of Fetorias and the absolute, oh my god, the absolute bloodbath of villagers here. Only 7 kills, 7 economy? There's more than 7 dead villagers here. Or maybe not. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, okay, maybe only 7. I guess the others managed to get into the town center. They heard the bell ringing, and they ran away. They ran inside. The Viper's economy is just nowhere where he has to, nowhere where he wants it to be. And more importantly, he can't defend against us. Usually, if you're being raided by Hussars, you can train your own counter Hussars, even light cav for the Portuguese. I'm looking at the top here. Of course, don't see a single light cav, but even your own light cav can help kind of stop a little bit of the bleeding, a little bit of the hemorrhaging of villagers. But when your opponent starts mixing in Mamelukes, there's nothing you can do, especially if you haven't upgraded any of your infantry upgrades. And I don't even see beyond this initial barracks that he has that was placed literally at the 7-minute mark of the game. I don't see any infantry at all that can help out here. So the Viper has really no responses to these attacks except the garrison villagers. And that is absolutely the second worst thing you can do after just not doing anything and letting those villagers die. It's just garrisoning them inside and waiting for them to get killed by your opponent. And so the Viper just picked apart to the east, picked apart to the north, loses 3 Fetorias, loses 106 villagers. And even though he rebuilt the Fetorias in a pretty damn secure location, this is a Fort Knox over here with 2 castles, bombards, organ guns, trebs. Ultimately, he was just, pushed back a little too far, a little bit too far. And he's got 132 population. That's misleading. Take 60 off of that for the 3 Fetorias, and you've got yourself 72 population against 200. 72 against 200. So he's at a third of the population. Daniel has more army than the Viper has villagers, to put it in a different way. And so I don't think he can respond to any of these multiple attack groups. He's going to lose these cavalry units. He's going to lose this organ gun, and that 19 army supply is going to fall to 14. And that 14 is going to fall even more as these Hussars are just going to continue their never-ending raids. Not with 69 villagers now on food. Daniel training 28 Hussars at a time is nowhere close to stopping the raiding, and he's wisely, for now, avoiding this very heavily fortified area and is instead going for the suburbs, the more lightly defended suburbs where maybe the police are a bit more relaxed and there's no real military presence to help out the villagers. And ultimately, with the poking, the prodding, the pulling apart of the Portuguese base, it is Daniel, our Saracen, who is victorious. But GG to both players. Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips and make sure to subscribe and enable notifications so that you're notified of my latest uploads.